Welcome back to another episode of Let's Go Hunt, now with 100% more weeb. Tonight, we have Sam Alexander, Anonymous Leopold, Vince H., who is striking out, Mike Gonsalves is older, wiser, and dumber, and I'm Dave Packard, who is now a certified plumber. Tonight, we're discussing stuff and things.
That's where we get most of our. That's where we get all of our stuff.
Dude,
and most of our things.
I really wish that people could build their cars so that when they run around with their pedals on the floor, they don't sound like they're having gunfights. Anyway.
So.
I thought that was a feature.
What does that even mean?
The cops chasing them. They're shooting at us. They peel off. Maybe it is a feature.
I think he's being racist and complaining about rice burners.
Oh, okay. All right.
Doesn't he have
like you live in the
ultra burners though?
Like I kind of have the King rice burner.
Yes, but it's also a Flintstone car because it doesn't run right now.
It runs just fine.
No.
The
Prado is the Flintstone car.
Yeah.
To get up hills, he's got to shove his feet out the bottom and run it up.
Zalvez. Mike Gonsalves.
Oh, Jesus.
He's the chicken man of history.
Can we keep it going?
No. And
yeah.
Jesus.
So anyway.
So yeah, do you want to hear my my woes of plumbing?
I thought you just became a certified plumber.
I am in my
mind.
Of
your wife with your pants around your ass.
In my mind.
You know, if Mike had put that, I would have been like, okay, Mike had some kind of calamity. Dave puts that, I'm like, oh, Dave became a plumber.
I'm a certified plumber of my own design. So Saturday, had low water pressure at our house. It kind of was low water pressure all morning. It was weird. Couldn't find anything wrong. Didn't have any leaks at my house. Didn't have any leaks in my well. So ran back up to my father-in-law's and grabbed my four-wheeler so I can run the water line because my well pumps water for 1.1 miles.
Dang.
Total. Because I go from one big-ass stock tank at the top of a hill down to my well, back up to my house, and then another half mile north of me, there's another stock tank. So I start running water line. And my well ties into another well that doesn't work across the road from my house, and I see a pressure tank floating. I'm like, oh, that's not good. So shut the water off there. Hunky-dory. When I did that, somehow we had like 90 PSI of water coming out of everything in our house. You turn on the shower and it about peeled paint off the porcelain. It was there.
Honey, toilet's clean.
Awesome. We're like, holy shit, is this what like real water pressure feels like? We've been missing out. Well,
dang, dude.
That goes on for like 30 minutes and we're fucking around. We're like, this is so cool. And then no water. We're like, oh no. So I take my four-wheeler back down to my well. And where my well comes out of my well casing and into the check valve to go to my pressure tank, it blew the union apart right there and flooded my well house. So I'm like, oh, this is super cool. So no water Saturday night. Wake up the next morning and load my generator on my four-wheeler trailer, take my four-wheeler and the generator down to pump out my well house. And I pull up to a well house and tire falls off the trailer. I'm like, oh, that's fucking great. Wheel bearing went up, just fucking on the ground. Super cool. Open the hood or open the lid to my well house, dry. It all drained out. I'm like, well, this was fucking useless anyway. So I figured out what happened, got everything kind of fixed, put it all back in there, and kicked the well back on. And it was real fucky with my well. It'd kick on for like 10 seconds and kick off. And kick on, the kick off. I'm like, well, that's not good. Because we just put this well motor in 2 years ago. And it's 400 feet to the bottom. And I didn't want to pull it. So turns out it's my pressure tank. So I run across the road and grab the pressure tank that was floating out of the old well because that was new. and take it down there. And I get down there and I couldn't get the old pressure tank out. So I had to drill a hole in it to drain the rest of that pressure tank, which then flooded my well house. Then I had to pump it out. Well, I forgot my pump back at my house. So I'm on my 4-wheeler carrying my little submersible pump and hose and an extension cord. And the fucking extension cord wraps around the tire on my 4-wheeler and then comes back and snaps me in the fucking arm.
Ooh.
Ow.
I was like, the fuck just punched me. And I stopped 4-wheeler and I'm looking around like, what the fuck was this? So get everything. When I fixed the pressure tank previously, I hard plumbed everything in. So it was going to take a sawzall to get the old pressure tank out. And I knew that. Run to town. And it's a calamity trying to get fucking parts just because of, one, how far it is from town for me. And just the limit of time that I have. That way I can like get parts that I need, that I think that I'll need, even extra parts, and then make it back here in time to put everything together. If I need something else, I have time to run back to town before they close. So get everything, put everything back together like it's supposed to be, kick the well on, and I get up 30 pounds and it blows apart right next to my pressure tank. And so it floods it again. Then I got the baling wire out. And baling wire has fixed my plumbing issues. So I'm now certified in my mind.
Oh, poor Dave.
Bro,
Baling wire.
I had to take yesterday off.
These are the fun aspects of living in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, yeah, it's great
Because
fun.
when you talk about going to the store and buying extra shit just because you don't want to have to drive back. Oh, you've been there, done that.
Yeah.
And you still end up not having everything you need.
I dropped an O-ring in my well house, and I had to use my kid's sand sifter, like the blue plastic ones, to try and find this fucking O-ring because I didn't have time to go back to town to get another union, and I didn't have any more O-rings. So it was a fucking adventure.
Oh, fuck. That's
We're
like
digging for dinosaurs.
last time my parents had well problems while I lived out there. Fucking well pump browns out. All right, fine. That's expensive. Got to replace it. Pull it, replace it, shove it back in there. Week later, browns out again. Motherfucker. So then pull that one. Figure that's a half-mile run out to quarter-mile run out to their well. You're like, well, shit, there must be something wrong with the wire in between here and there. I dug up around the fucking wellhead, found the wire, like, well, it's not right here at the entrance. So I remember how much we paid for an electrician to come out with a freaking, I don't even know what the hell it's called.
Oh, the little
wand, a little meter
Yeah.
where they can just find the break in the wire.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, which end should we start from? Well, yeah, I'll start from the wellhead. All right, go to the wellhead. He walks 2 feet and goes, oh, it's right. Or not even 2 feet. It's like freaking 1 foot away. Oh, it's right here. Oh, motherfucker.
Bro.
If I just kept digging, I would have found it.
Can you start at the other end to make this worth it?
I'm glad we didn't, because he didn't charge us he didn't charge us with the initial estimate because he was only there for 5 fucking minutes. But still, it's like, God, I hate wells.
Yeah.
Well, that was interesting.
So
The best part of that story was you all enjoying your freaking high pressure for about 5 minutes before it all went to hell.
It's like we're in the city.
And then it all goes to hell.
Yeah.
How's the water pressure now?
Average. Back to
Okay.
normal.
Freaking city well pressure's average anyway because they freaking throttle you.
My water pressure for my garden hose outside, I can just close it off. Just funk, and then the water stops. And then I open it back up. I'm like, here you go.
So
But
did y'all
my poor
see?
well.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway. Proceed, Vince.
Did y'all see that there is a new confirmed world record grizzly bear?
I did
Dave,
not.
What was your mom doing in Alaska?
It wasn't his mom. It was your lover.
Yeah, this was.
Dave, what was my
before,
lover
so-
doing in Alaska?
Why the fuck are you asking me?
Getting fucked by somebody with a. Oh, I forgot to read the damn article. Shit.
I figure of all the people here, if there's anybody that's an expert on anything remotely like that, it'd be you.
Vince,
how big was this bear?
how big was the bear?
Who cares now? No.
All right, moving on.
It doesn't. So it's a Outdoor Life article, and they're talking about the bear. It was killed by a hunter in late 2020, or in actually I think September of 2024, and they had to issue a correction because it originally said new world record, but this is not the world record animal. This is the largest hunter killed animal. So I guess the world record includes skulls found, because the only stat they have on it is the measurement on the skull. They don't have like how big it was, how long it was, but it looks like a big old boy looking at the pictures of it. Apparently the guy shot it like 3 times with a 338 Lapua.
Damn.
And after a few follow-up shots, like, yeah, I mean, I kind of want to just like, lay into the guy for, why are you shooting it over and over again? But I could imagine the guy just sitting there like, keep shooting it. Shoot it until it quits moving, because it's a bear.
You don't want it to turn around and be like, hey, they're shooting at me.
No, they won't turn around. I've read guys in Alaska, multiple people say that they will fucking bolt off into, the underbrush and then J-hook around and try and ambush you if you come after them. I've heard that from multiple people that, you don't fucking track them till a really long time, because if you just start going off after them, they'll fucking come back around and get you. And not turn around and get you, but come around and fucking ambush you.
What else does that? Cape Buffalo. That's what I've read that about Cape Buffalo, that they will double back on their trail and watch it and wait for the hunters to come along, like creeping through the brush, following their trail, and jump out on them and trample a bunch of people to death. But I've also heard the whole like keep shooting until they quit moving thing from elk guides, especially guiding inexperienced hunters. Like, just keep shooting until it quits moving, because they don't want to have a rodeo where they have to go chase an elk around, much less a grizzly bear that is large enough to be anything near a Boone and Crockett record.
I mean, there's a picture of the dude holding the skull, and I will say this must have been a real old bear, because his freaking teeth looked like hell. They're all rounded off and just worn down, almost nothing. He's holding the skull, and it looks about the size, like it's about the width of his freaking chest and shoulders.
Yeah, like it looks like it's about 18 inches long, or at least.
I've never seen something that long before.
Yeah, if you do, run.
I'll keep that in mind.
My favorite part of the story is, we were going to shoot this bear, but there was a younger bear that was starting to chase it off that was about the same size. Like, wait a minute, you had 2 options at a bear this size, and you picked the one that lost. I can't wait to see, like, I want to go shoot the one that they passed on, because it's probably still a record book bear. But this one measured 27 and 9/16 inches after the drying out period, and confirmed by a panel. The world record only has it beat by a 1/4 inch.
Yep.
And if anyone doesn't know, the way you measure bears for record book purposes is the width of the skull plus the length of the skull.
Yeah, that's it. Those are the only 2 measurements.
Yep, that's it.
Which
is why you get something like 27 inches. Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's probably a 10-foot tall bear, but all you measure is its big old pumpkin. So,
but even looking at my computer screen, which is about 24 inches wide, I'd say maybe 20-inch wide screen, and just picturing a bear skull even bigger than that, and then looking at like 9mm and going, this will be fine.
Yeah. The guy is doing like the forced perspective thing, like with the fish. He's holding it out in front of him, like trying to make it look bigger
Jesus.
than it is. But
that's still a big. Look at the size of that skull, dude.
yeah, you're still talking a probably a 15-inch long skull and 11 to 12 inches wide, somewhere in that ballpark.
Look at the claw compared to his hand.
Where is this? Oh, that's his hand. That's a gloved hand. Hold it.
Yeah.
Jesus, I thought it was part of the paw.
Yeah.
All right. Wild.
They're
Yeah.
pretty big.
That is
Is it good?
that's good for
I
him.
wonder, do you suppose, like, I remember the world record, like, whitetail, they rent that fucking thing out for outdoor shows and make quite a bit of bank on it. I wonder if you could do the same thing for, like, the biggest bear skull.
Dude, probably.
Maybe. I feel like the whitetail would probably pull more just because of.
Are you talking about?
Midwestern stuff.
Are you talking about the biggest antlers? That
Yeah.
nonsense? Okay. You say biggest whitetail, and it makes me think of the story from Iowa where they shot a whitetail that was like 500 pounds live
See,
weight.
I thought you were doing
Roll
like
Tide.
little brother. Ew. Vince is over here going, brother. Ew. Whitetail, and he only likes to. Never mind.
Oh no.
What is that?
What is that, brother?
Don't make me put
that's a
my
big
hat
one.
on.
Do you think he's gonna full body mount it? I mean,
it looked like he was full
Dude.
body mounting it when he was behind it.
I see the error in my wording.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Would you like to try again?
No, I refuse. Decline. Unsubscribe.
See, I think it's just a travesty that you can't get a full body taxidermy of the full body
Mhm.
taxidermy of the grizzly bear and have an entire necklace made of all the claws. Like, I want both.
Yeah.
And I'm disappointed that you can't have both.
I wonder if they kept the little penis bone.
The
They
back
better
And
have.
there's Sam.
I'm just saying.
Ain't
Big
no
bear.
laws.
You better have kept it. Evidence of sex has to remain on the corpse.
All right. So what do you just? There's my evidence of sex, officer.
Mm-mm.
Sir, this video doesn't count.
Oh,
Ties a sock on the
I
tail.
think I misunderstood the directions. Did I mess that up? Is that what? Oh crap! That's not what that means, is it? Oh,
Sir, this is a scene from Super Troopers.
Jeff no longer opens videos from Mike. So anyway,
oh, the dude killed a big ass moose in the same trip. What an asshole!
yeah,
Good for him.
not,
Hmm.
yeah.
I don't know how I
Yeah.
feel about him anymore.
If you got the money, why not?
Oh, I mean, when I said what an asshole, good for him.
Mhm. Yeah. There's $70,000 in 2 animals. But they're
Yeah.
huge. I don't know if he spent 70 grand. I'm just spitballing here.
You
However-
spitballed, but that's not
It's
not
not far off.
enough.
I mean,
When you consider how much it's going to cost to ship all of that back, to get it taxidermied, to have the meat processed, to like how much the license cost to begin with, the food, fuel, hiking equipment, all of that,
I mean, just the fly out, just
flying,
the flight
like,
out.
yeah,
Depending on where he shot it and how deep he is.
How
that,
much?
Yeah, that could definitely be a real expensive trip.
I wonder how much a full body taxidermy.
Taxidermy.
Well,
he's
here's
an
a guy-
educated man. Now I really hate him.
Here's a
You can talk around you guys.
holy cow. So for 2027 with this company, Alaskan Perimeter Expeditions, if you want to book a one-on-one guided and filmed 15-day trophy brown bear hunt, it's $64,300.
Oh, see, like 10 years ago was 30 grand without being filmed.
Guided and what the fuck would I want that filmed? So I can feel
So-
like Steven Ranella, like, oh, look at me.
So that they have something to put on YouTube when you get Timothy Chalamet.
I mean,
When
You
you
mean
get Taylor,
Treadwell? I mean, if
Treadwell.
it's
Yeah,
isn't
that's right.
Chalamet, that skinny
Treadwell.
little actor kid who, if he came up against the bear, I'm pretty sure the bear could like pancake him with one swat.
Gideon Optics has entered the chat.
trying to find the price on the full.
Tin Man has a good point. It's cheaper to safari hunt in Africa than to take a brown bear and moose in Alaska.
I mean,
I wish
it's
that
not
weren't
wrong.
true.
Well, one of the issues with hunting in Alaska is, and I don't know all these details, that some of those hunts you can't go on unless it is guided.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, that is true. Yes.
Some of
Well,
them.
Doll
So-
sheep.
The
I
two
know
guys
that-
know, Steve, the guys I went bow hunting with, I think they had to put it off. They might do it this year. They might do it next. They were
So-
gonna do a DIY caribou hunt, but I don't think caribou's on the list of ones that has to be guided.
No.
Brown bear and maybe even black bear, I think, are guide required, but a direct family member can act as your guide without needing a license, like a guide's license. So if you're
I'm never gonna convince my brother to move to fucking Alaska though. Not from Texas.
I was looking at properties in Alaska. Like if I had fuck you money, I would have.
Oh, if I had fuck you money, I'd be an Alaska resident all day long.
I wouldn't be a resident, but I would have a cabin that I would do up with solar.
Legal. If I've got fuck you money, I'll put my residency as Alaska.
okay, so I can't find what it costs to taxidermy your bear, but I found a site that is selling taxidermied life-size bears, and they seem to range from between $17,000 and $32,000 or so, depending on what you got here. Except for this one, which is just a bear's ass, which will only run you $1,700.
Done.
And I think I figured out how I can get the claw necklace and the taxidermied bear.
Holy shit. We
So-
should start a trend of doing that.
Just
Instead of caping out a whole fucking elk, you just take the skull and then cape out the ass end of it. And those are all your mounts.
Ass mounts.
dude, that'd be the ultimate flex. Like a once in a lifetime guided elk hunt, and you shoot the animal of a lifetime and you just walk up, cut the hide off the ass and walk off.
And
Like,
somebody's
that's
like,
it.
"What are you doing?" And you look over your shoulder and go, "Escaping," and just leave.
That was a stretch.
That was a stretch. I was going to say more something like, that's all I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And then you make it awkward by putting it at the correct
Escaping.
height in your house. We'll put it that way. At a certain height in your house, all these mounts are mounted. It's fine.
What is this in the bathroom? You go a step further,
No,
and if you
look.
you take the tail, and if you do like this, and you crank the tail, it's like your toothpaste dispenser.
Oh, see, what I was thinking is you can put like a little medicine, like a little tiny, box inside of its ass. And you just reach in there. Well,
I would
gonna
use
say
it.
That's exactly where you put your doorbell.
I would use it as like a
it's one way to stop
urinal
the solicitors.
partition.
And-
A urinal partition. That way, when you're looking at it from a profile, it's all there. Get it?
I think when we open Dave's Honky Tonk and Eatery down there by Springfield, we
Yep.
need to find some taxidermied pronghorn and put those in the men's restroom in front of the urinals, because elk will just that it's just too intimidating for most. So we'll go with pronghorn. We'll get the taxidermied backside and put it up there in front of the urinal. That way you wander up to it and it looks,
Yeah.
looks
I
height
was gonna
appropriate.
I was gonna make a joke about me having like some off the wall shit in this honky tonk, and then I realized that my uncle has a bar and restaurant that in the back he has a tire shop. And I was like, I'll put a tire shop. I was like, fuck, that's already done.
Oh,
But that's okay. Well, family.
Someone's got to run our legitimate businesses.
goddamn, that just makes me want to freaking do this now. $1,700 by the ass end of a mare.
I mean, it's the most affordable thing I saw on there. Hold on, what
Well,
it was?
what went through my head is, imagine winning one of these hunts on like, fucking raffle or something. Like, oh yeah, and then
Safari Club International.
yeah, but then they don't include the rest of that shit, and so then you find out you're just fucking bankrupted anyway.
It's the taxidermy store. Oh, Dusky's got it right. We can be sponsored by the Butt Out Tool.
Bro.
Oh no shit! Then during an ad segment, you turn around and you go, look. Mm-hmm. You fill it full of pig intestine for every ad, then you can pull it out and do a live demonstration on air. It's perfect.
No, I wouldn't do like pig intestine. I would do like a banner that says our coupon code. It's like, butt out.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fair.
Moist.
Holy shit! They have taxidermied squirrels carrying a little bucket of nuts.
I think that would be a perfect addition to Vince's backdrop.
I mean, it's $500. Wait, no, it's $494 on sale from $520. They must have a hard time pushing sales right now.
Good God.
African Safari 5-plaque matching set, skulls and horns for sale. Like, is
I
this
can
what
only
you,
imagine.
is
how
this
hard-
what you buy when you want to look like you're a, impressive African hunter, but you've never actually been?
Or you have a sporting goods shop.
Dude,
Because
there's
most
an
What happens
entire.
when you raid your grandfather's estate after he's passed away and he grew up as an African hunter, and you're like, "Fuck, how am I gonna do all with this?"
There's an
Send it!
entire like economy out there for all these old animal mounts. Like people who want that aesthetic, or they're putting together like a hunting cabin where they're just gonna go hang out on the weekends, or even people who do like the commercial ones and they want deer mounts just to go in there. They don't, not even impressive ones, like pretty average whitetails. There's
There's a theme.
Good. Yeah, there's good money for those out there. Like if you're anyone listening, if granddad dies and he's got all the taxidermied stuff in his house, don't just go throw that out in the garbage. If it's in good condition, you can sell that. If you don't want it, by all means keep the cool stuff, but don't just go throwing it out or being like, you want this? Like there's value in it just in the market.
Put it on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and see what happens.
$1,200 bear's ass. I know what I got. No low balls.
Is it still available? Is this still available?
Oh, sorry, I don't
Only on
respond to
Friday
those.
nights.
Is this still available?
Look, you can't afford it, but for $100, I'll give you an hour. No,
Greatest
there it
job.
is. Brown bear novelty butt taxidermy mount for sale.
Can you even call it a brown bear? Just call it a brown butt at that point. Brown butt for sale.
I'm just imagining, maybe that's what you do with it. Like, you put your shoulder mount on one side of the wall, and you put your ass on the other side of the wall. Perfect.
I think it would make a pair of brown bear chaps,
I hate the genius of your plan
claws and all.
a lot.
I like how the description, they call it a magnificent brown bear rear mount.
I'll
Damn
show
right.
you rear mount.
Oh, free shipping. Sweet. All right. That's enough of that.
So
I think so.
Are we
That-
going to have a show title Bear Ass?
I don't know
I
if
wish
can
we
get away with
could, but
that.
we can't.
Have we started a new list of show titles for this one yet?
Is this
No.
still available?
Oh,
We
that's
can do
Dave's
bear-
job. I don't
We
know.
can do Bear Butt.
Oh, I was just scrolling through the notes. Crawfish. There's a crawfish etouffee. I don't know if you guys talked about this last week while I was.
Yes, we
While
did.
you were out weebing.
Ad
Yeah.
nauseum.
Okay.
I love how you
Let's
don't
do
listen
that.
to your own podcast either.
Mike
Well,
was
I
out
actually wanna listen.
delivering. Mike was actually out delivering bricks to Los Angeles. Don't tell anybody.
I mean, the load of bricks I brought Los Angeles could do it some good. All right, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's actually just a euphemism that he blew up a lot of toilets while he was there.
Toilet étouffée.
Bricked in a toilet.
Moving on.
Have you gotten? Did you get any nets in the water yet?
No, I've been busy.
I feel like that's something that I could
Also,
do.
it's a little chill. I mean, actually, no, today was freaking hot enough. It might be hot and turning hot enough, but this previous week it was all dreary and shit. That wouldn't have done any good. Because I remember 2 years ago, I ended up trying to do it in early June, and I kept getting pissed off because I was catching like 1 and 2. Yeah.
So was it what too early? They just weren't moving. Maybe you needed to throw it
They
deep.
were in
You
there
probably needed to
deeper.
get it deeper.
They were whatever. I could throw it in there with your trap, but that's a little too deep.
Never forget.
Well, I won't.
Well, it's not like that trap went any further than any of ours did. It just happened to
If
take
we
the rope
wanted to
with
be,
it.
if we wanted it to be really cool, we could have like our own miniature version of Deadliest Catch, where we go out in the canoe and throw the traps over the side. But
I'm kind of into that idea, honestly.
I'm
Like
not.
get some boys and
Like, what am I going to do? Come back the next day and paddle back out there again?
You don't have like a hook, no winch, it's
No.
just a fishing pole and a treble hook.
Except for if it's like Sean and I try to catch the damn coot out of the water we shot, we'll be going in circles forever. Missed it, missed out, reverse. Oh,
what?
shit, nope, we're going the wrong way. Fuck.
The
coot.
what you shot?
Coot.
Coot. Oh, coot. I heard coon. I was like, wait a minute.
Whoa,
I
whoa,
was like, when these
Raccoon.
motherfuckers shoot a raccoon?
whoa.
That's actually what went to my mind. I was like, okay, yeah, they cross the water every night. Like, what is going on?
And why were they in a boat when they did it? Like, how
Target
pissed
of
off was this
opportunity.
raccoon?
Well, you see, we were far enough out that we were in international waters, so hate crimes don't apply.
Wow. Mike, what you been up to?
Well, see, after I told that whole story about the old 320 and decided to hang her up until all this is resolved,
You should.
I went in the safe and I went, what do I got in here that I can put on my hip for hunting season for a while? Bunch of 1911s I don't want to get rusty, a SIG 229 in 40, and a Glock 22 in 40. So now I have a Glock Model 22 in 9mm. I went on. Yeah, so one of the things that I was messaging our Signal group about, just you guys, I think it was, I was asking about the modularity of the 320 and why the military chose to go with that over one of the other platforms, such as Glock. And it made me realize, like, the modularity that people like Sam like in the Flux Raider, that's probably one thing, like just one thing you can do with a little fire cassette cartridge or whatever, the FCU. But the fact that I was able to order a barrel for $100 on Brownells and throw it in my Glock and get a couple of magazines and boom, now I have a 9mm Glock. That's pretty modular too. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
What you should have done is kept it as a 40 though, because then you get some Underwood, black cherry hard cast shit, and you'd be cool.
I mean, I still have the 40 barrel and the magazines. It's not like I can't just swap it out at will, which is actually really cool.
It is a 200 grain pill, leaving, according to Underwood, about 1,000 FPS.
Do they have any 9mm? Because those would actually be pretty decent. Like if you were going to do a Skittles load offset, one hollow point, one hard cast, those would work really well.
I thought you were talking 940, 940.
That'd work really well.
Pronounced 40.
40.
Glock 40.
Underwood has some plus P 147 grain flat nose hard cast. Buffalo Bore has some as well. 147 grain, 1100 FPS.
Mhm.
If you're gonna Skittles load it, I mean,
when you got 18 rounds in your
I'm just
first
imagining
magazine,
you having to defend yourself from a person, and then the poor corner trying to figure out what the fuck's with half the hollow points, then half the through and throughs. And the corner's like, "What is going on? I don't understand."
There was
It-
two
actually, I
people.
was
I'm
shooting
sure
at the
of it.
bear behind him. I got him.
I've arrived at the conclusion like you don't Skittles load if you're in a situation. If you think you might be carrying somewhere where you need something with all of the penetration, you just carry that. Forget everything else. Just carry that.
Dusky in the chat asked what we all carry in our sidearms again. Dusky,
Are you
mine is
talking about
9mm Federal HSTs.
well, is he
147
talking
grain.
in the woods or is he talking into tweets?
Well, the ammo I
Carry.
carry into the woods is the same ammo I carry during the day in urban environment. So yeah, Federal HST 147 grains.
Yeah, because mine's not the same. If I'm carrying my carry gun, it's a freaking 365 with 100 whatever. I think it's hell, I lost the box. So it's either critical duty or critical defense. Hornady 9mm, one of the two.
Yep.
I have no idea what it is anymore.
If it's one or the other, they're literally the same. It's just duty was
Yeah, he
defense
said
that is it was inspected
said
and
duty.
ready for duty.
He said duty.
Duty.
If we're outdoors, like I said, these days, Dusky, you should know this. I have freaking talked about it endlessly for like 3 weeks.
Biggins.
No, it's the USP with those 45 supers in it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Although for Colorado and Black Bear, I might find me a box of just plus P hard cast and skip the supers. But then again, I'm not a bitch. So I think we'll just stick with the supers. Yeah.
So I also, aside from the pistol thing, I went on Amazon and I was like, stuck choke shotgun tube. And I went and got this little gizmo. And I've got to tell you what, it didn't work at all. It might work for normal chokes, but it sure doesn't work for that one. So try something else.
For those listening, Mike just held up a butt plug.
So
Yeah.
basically, it's this big piece of rubber with a little screw on the end of it, a wing nut. And then it's got an offset piece of aluminum with a handle. And you're supposed to screw the wing nut into the rubber and it's supposed to expand in the choke.
All right.
And you're supposed to
much.
be able to apply leverage to remove the rubber
Nope.
from the choke.
Nope. Nope.
So anyway, that didn't work.
The best part of this whole story actually happened before the show where Vince, were you here? I don't think Vince was here, just Dave and I watching Mike screw around with this thing, and then he stands up and imitates Kurt Cobain trying to get his joke out. And it's like, can you please make sure that's unloaded just for our own edification, please?
All of these are reasons we don't open videos from Mike anymore.
I mean, if you are going to go Cobain yourself, I almost said Kobe yourself, but this
So you
applies
want me to
for both
throw
of them.
myself into the side of a mountain at 170 miles an hour? All right.
But in both cases, you have to do it live
Cobain?
on air.
You'd be in a helicopter, so automatically cooler.
I mean,
Valid.
to be fair, both had the same result of brain evisceration.
So when I was working at Jimmy John's a few years ago, like way back in the day, a few years ago, I don't know, whatever. I'm old now. I don't care. Anyway, the maintenance dude was changing some light bulbs in the lobby. And for some reason, he looks at the light bulb in his hand at the top of the ladder, looks down at the trash can like 8 feet away and also 8 feet down. And he yells, "Kobe," and throws it at the trash can and it hits the ground, shatters into a million pieces. And I was like, no, that's Kobe. He almost
Correct.
fell off the ladder. Anyway.
I'm pretty sure this story occurred right when it happened. So, it's fresh in everybody's minds.
Anyway, so when I take old Glocky Glock to try it out as a 9mm, which I basically bought a Glock 17 but with extra steps. So when I take my Glock 17 ES to the range, I'm also going to pick up my Sauer S101, my normal hunting rifle, which I had threaded.
But why?
So, I had threaded, so can use can. Shh. Make rifle. Shh.
But why?
Because shh.
The gunsmith made it a left hand thread. That
I
is
did.
tooling backwards. Oops.
I told him I wanted half by or 5/8 by 24, and he measured it, and he's like, I don't know that I can do that. I don't think there's enough material. So he calls me back later, and he's like, nope, I can't do that. We'll do half by 28. And I was like, that's fine. They make adapters, whatever. But yeah, so I'm excited to do that too, so I can take the old Glock to the range, and I can also shoot the hunting rifle suppressed for the first time.
Hey, I've got a question. How much actual sidewall material does that leave in the threaded area on that now?
Well, he's about to find out.
Not a lot.
That's
Yeah,
see, the reason you don't do half 28 on stuff besides maybe 300 blackout is like there's not a whole lot of material left there. But then again, I don't know, they also do that for 9mm, so there's at least 0.25 0.025. Yeah, 0.025 per side or so. It's probably not that bad.
I am running into the same issue with that one right there, because that's my 300 Win Mag, and it's half 28 because there wasn't enough to get 5/8 24.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about putting a thread adapter on to go to 5/8 24 off of that.
he actually he had one in the back, and he was like, I'll just sell you that one. And I was like, all right, like $15 here or $15 on Amazon, whatever.
400% markup.
Be sure you at least superficially check your alignment with that. Alignment. I forget. I heard recently about a company that was doing carbon fiber alignment rods. I forget who it was, but at least make sure everything's unloaded. Take the bolt out of the gun. Look down the barrel from the muzzle end and make sure that your little circles kind of at least like line up visually. Like that's the bare minimum that you can do to make sure that something's not egregiously off. Because you are stacking tolerances. So there is all that. Hey, everyone's muted and Sam left. It's the Vince show.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, okay,
I was just looking up Mike's video of the first time he went to train with his suppressor.
Train.
Yeah, when you're in Buena Vista.
So I
Shall
didn't.
we watch it together?
I didn't have one of my rifles.
No, we don't need to watch Bonk again.
Go ahead, Vince.
I didn't have one of my rifles threaded, but I did snap up a 16.5-inch Ruger American barrel chambered in 223 that was threaded. It's on its way, but in the meantime, I took my old Ruger American, Mark I, the original version that I've had for a long time, and I yoinked the barrel off of it, which is actually pretty simple, but you kind of still do need a barrel vise, which I have a barrel vise, so it's not that big of a deal, but you got to have some way to hold. You got to have some way to hold everything. And then the other problem was the barrel nut on these things doesn't have any wrench flats. It's just circular. So
how does that work?
Well, you're supposed to grind your own wrench flats.
There's companies that sell just basically compression wrenches, like it's a circle and you clamp it on there and then you unscrew the dang thing. Or there's this thing called vice grips, which you can just tighten down real good and then clamp it on there and just go to town and ugga-dugga the thing off.
Ugga-dugga.
So yeah, the barrel, the lock washer barrel nut thingamajig, that it's still good. I can still use it. It's a little marred up, but it should be fine.
I've
But yeah, I'm
never
gonna get
noticed
that.
that there's no flats.
Yep, no flats. I think you missed the part where I used a pair of vice grips because I could have bought the correct tool for like $50 and waited, or I had the vice grip sitting there speaking sweet nothings in my ear.
That's why.
Bastard vice grips do that, don't they?
Dude, if you have to pick between, channel locks, pliers, or vice grips, if you have to pick one, always take the vice grips.
Mm-hmm.
I got a new stock for my AR for Christmas one time, and I didn't have an armorer's wrench, so I used a pipe wrench.
Yeah.
And then a year later, I'm driving down the road and I'm fucking with my rifle, just clicking the charging handle back and forth because it's a fidget. And I look down, I'm like, I put that son of a bitch on backwards. The fucking castle nut. I was like, oh, well
done.
Too late
somebody's
now.
gonna look at it as like, why and how? So, stupidity plus determination can yield some interesting results.
Dude, half the time, like you're talking about the castle nut, but like the wrenches they give with like AR handguards for your barrel nut just suck.
Yeah.
Actually, I love Midwest Industries, and I love like their combat series and their slimline series. They all use the same barrel nut, but the wrench and the way it meets up to the barrel nut sucks because it strips out the little notches on the barrel nut so easy. I don't even use it. I just use vice grips and grab a hold of that sucker and yoink it off, and then I file down any, bits of metal that I grind off whenever I do that, and then twist the sucker back on there, and there we go. Like, follow
All right,
me on
then.
Instagram for more gunsmithing advice.
Gunsmith. With an F.
Sam,
At
Oh,
Bear
no.
Ass on Instagram.
I have Mike's bonk video ready to go if you want me to play it. And I imagine this will be the same with him walking around with his sour in the woods.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. The little boink video.
Yeah, that one. No, not that. Not that. Well,
I don't
I
want to
thought
watch.
you had
my-
it queued up ready to go.
Well, he thought he did.
can you hear that?
Oh, no
No.
audio.
Oh,
Send it to me. We'll put it up on Instagram.
okay.
For those audio,
We
for
we
the
already
people
put it
listening
on
the
it.
audio podcast,
Oh, I'll put it up
it's
again.
Mike wandering around looking through his optic and then boinking into a
Right to a
target
barrier.
with the muzzle of his rifle.
He just got himself his brand new suppressor. He's all excited to use it, and yeah, walk straight into the wall.
Oh God, that was hilarious.
That's another 6 inches I wasn't used to dealing with at the end of
Well, I think most of us are not used to dealing with that.
that's what I'm saying,
Well, it's
man.
the
Like
6 extra that's the problem.
yeah, that's like I'm used to what's sticking out in front normally, which ain't not a lot to begin with. I like when he mutes himself like he's coughing, but he also looks like he's hacking up a hairball.
I mean, same thing at this point. So, are we talking about guns for a moment?
Yeah,
Well, I don't want to touch it because I don't want to.
it's
I don't
wait,
know if
we've
anyone's
already
living on frickin'. Is anybody on YouTube still? Call up now before I
Right.
doom you.
we've already touched numerous. Dave grabbed his, Vince
Mhm.
grabbed his.
Hang on.
There's
We're,
the old
I'm
Glock.
going to try at least to be subtle. God damn it, you asshole.
Bye-bye.
No, I'm still here. I was just grabbing it off the wall by stopping my camera. Does anybody know what the it's the Colt model 9mm, the Colt model 9mm SMGs? I forget the exact designation, but they're colloquially called like the DOE model because the Department of Energy bought a few of them. Not for defending nuclear silos, like some idiots on frickin' YouTube say. Watch me make a big blanket statement like I know what the hell I'm talking about. but more for like convoy protection when they're hauling nukes around the country. Nuclear material.
Convoy.
So basically, it's like a little 9mm carbine because they didn't want to buy MP5s for some reason. But it's got, an AR freaking, it's like an A1 or A2 upper, and then a little fixed front sight. And so I've created with the Mitchell Defense that I won a little portion with Gideon optics on top
Oh, good lord.
by putting a detachable carry handle and a UTG front sight and a Monstrum carry handle Picatinny rail with a little bit of Gideon optic on top. And it's horrible and fascinating.
It needs a suppressor.
Why?
It does.
'Cause-
Because then it'd be even cooler.
is that correct?
Like like the what is it? Bowers Group War Dog or a K9 War Dog? One of the two.
If
The
I get
tiny
a
little
pistol,
9mm can.
if I get a pistol can, it's got to be 45, long before 9mm.
I mean, yeah, if you're gonna get a pistol can, it's got to be 45 because you can shoot 9mm through a 45 can, but you can't shoot 45 through a 9mm can.
Oh yes, you can.
Well,
Can
once.
can.
Why can't you
And
put
can-
45 in a 9mm? Get your question.
Answer
answered.
that question and more.
I have a
Those were the
problem
days.
with how expensive cans are, and not the weight so much anymore, but even like the tax. Wanting a pistol can beside over something else. Like if I get a pistol can, it's almost like I want it to also be able to shoot like 300 blackout and 5.56 and other stuff in case I wanted to.
I mean, that's not an unreasonable request.
So they make
45 cans will still suppress a 223 okay-ish.
Yeah.
You know what's really not surprisingly, but what's really difficult is trying to line up the red dot through
Nice.
a camera while looking at yourself
You know,
in the camera.
you know what that makes me? That makes me moist, which is the coupon code you should use if you also want to put a Gideon Omega. Is that
Yeah,
the
that's the
Omega?
Omega.
Put a Gideon Omega on your Frankenstein 9mm build.
it's called the Rat Dog.
Yeah, that's called the red
Frankenstein.
dog. You're right. Hey, I won it. I was so excited when I won it because I misread what I won and I thought it was a 5.56.
I'll be
And
And
less
then I saw it was
excited.
a 9mm, and
You messaged me. You're like, I won. Fuck.
pistol caliber carbines are some of the least exciting firearms to me, except for my Uzi. So I was like, oh yeah, and it's like, oh shit, it's a fucking 9mm. Like, yay, cool. But at the same time, I was like, I got excited thinking it was a freaking Mark 18 build, not a strange
Yeah.
9mm
Once they
build.
get
Anyway,
once they get much bigger than everyone left. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, no,
I'm
we're
still here.
Okay.
I think you blinked.
Yeah, you
Everybody's video
Matt.
died.
Yeah, it
There
did
we
that to
go.
me earlier.
Ooh.
Okay. Once stuff gets much bigger than like the Flux Raider in pistol calibers, I lose so much interest.
Like, I get that I get their use for competition. I don't shoot competition, so yeah, for me, once it gets above that's why I like the little Flux Raider because I can put it in a little bag, or me and a buddy are gonna work on holsters here pretty soon, or I can put it in a single point sling and keep it under my arm, concealed under an unbuttoned shirt. But when
Yep.
it gets to something this size, it's no longer concealable. So at that point, give me a rifle caliber.
So I actually have more to say on PCCs. I actually took my PCC to the range and experienced my first actual squib. I was 144 rounds in doing Mozambiques, just doing Mozambiques. Second round of
Oh,
three.
This wasn't the ammo you ran out of powder on?
No, this is different
Oh,
ammo.
I thought it was connected.
Nope, I separated that ammo. In fact, the ammo I was using is ammo that I made before I figured out that the press wasn't sizing the brass properly, and I needed to adjust it. So I was getting bulgy 9mm cases, kind of fat bottom girls, with
won't
spare
you
tires.
Take me home tonight.
Yep,
Dave, bulgy bottom.
bulgy
Gentile.
bottom. So I got them bulgy bottom girls, and
You make
for
the
some reason,
rocking
my
world
PCC
go
had never,
round.
ever cared. And I finally figured out why. It's because it's got the JP Enterprises buffer slamming it forward into the chamber every time. So it doesn't have room to fat bottom girl in there. And then it's a blowback. So the gas is blowing it right back out. So it don't really have it doesn't have qualms about coming out either.
So she's just throwing it back at you.
Basically, yeah, PCC seems to want to eat every piece of shit ammo I make except this one. So I'm second round of the three round string in a Mozambique. I fire the first one, come back down for the second one, and it goes, and I was like, it almost felt like a double burst, like 2 rounds went off, and I was like, that was weird. So thinking I might have had one of those rounds where the primer doesn't set the powder off for whatever reason, and the bullet just gets stuck in the chamber. I unload and I pulled the bolt back and I checked the round in the chamber, and the round in the chamber was a live round. So I was like, okay, dropped the mag, cleared the gun, took it apart, grabbed my brass bore rods that I keep in my range bag, and I dropped one down the tube, and it went shunk, stopped halfway. And I was like,
that's not supposed to happen. Real quick before I forget, Dave, I have a crossover title. Oh, damn it, Vince, you beat me to it. I was going to say bulgy bear bottom, not bulgy bottom bear.
Bulgy bear bottom, I like that. So I can speak to Sam's point. Yeah, my 16-inch barrel on my PCC is not much good for anything else other than competition. It's a hell of a lot of fun. I love the 16-inch barrel because it's stable and stuff. But a lot of people on the interwebs, they want to say that a 9mm PCC is like perfect for home defense, especially with like a 12, 14, 18, or 16-inch barrel. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's a great point. However, you want to throw a 147 grain slug going 900 and something feet per second, or you could throw a 62 grain slug going 3,200 feet per second.
Or a 405 grain slug going, I don't remember off the top of my head.
And what?
4570.
I was going to ask about 45.
Or just 1 ounce slug.
Jesus.
That's when you don't get out of bed and you just like roll over and aim towards the front door.
You lazily use your Bic lighter to light the string of gunpowder you have lined up to go just burn itself its way into the firing chamber of the cannon you have at the top of the stairs.
If it's the design before 1898, that's perfectly legal. And it's not remote detonation. You did it by hand.
You might remember what fucking was that thing called that they came up mid 2000s? Metal Storm.
Oh yeah, the cartridgeless anti-aircraft cannon.
Yeah, just black powder. It's just It's just a series of galvanized pipes pointed at your front door. You light the fuse and go back to bed.
Dude, Metal Storm is a great way to defend your house from invaders.
Tomorrow me can deal with this mess. I'm going back to bed.
Well, you know what? The gun might finish shooting by the time you wake up in the morning, so you'll be good to go. The cops show up and it's still going off. You're like, wait, just give it a minute.
Back up a good, 20, 30 days.
As long as you program your speaker to play the 1812 overture on repeat.
It's the cannon.
If you're unfamiliar with Metal Storm, it's a concept weapon that used cartridgeless ammo and could fire upwards of 1 million rounds a minute using multi-barrel platforms and projectiles stacked on top of each other, setting them off one at a time. Insanely fast fire rate.
I've talked about this before, actually, because I think there's one of them on Forgotten Weapons. Some dude back in the, shortly after the Revolutionary War, I think the USS Constitution had one mounted on it. freaking, well, they didn't weld the same way back then, but essentially welded, I can't remember if it was 6 or 8 flintlock barrels together. And then down the center, it had, a tube to run my powder charge through. And you'd just stack one, load on top of the other, set off the flintlock mechanism, and it would just sit there and shoot and just empty itself out.
Interesting.
And once it starts, you can't stop it.
Sam's new beaver gun, Metal
Yeah.
Storm.
Yeah.
Still
this is
misses.
perfect.
It sounds like an early evolution of anything worth shooting once is worth shooting many times.
Well, they had it again, the Navy bought them. And the idea being you want to clear a deck full of people. Well,
Navy bottom.
the gun starts shooting. I can't remember how many rounds it held, and it doesn't stop. And I guess
Navy
at that
bottom
point, if
girls
they
get
surrender,
thrown
you
around.
just got to point it, out to sea somewhere.
Ooh. Beaver Storm.
They struck the colors. Yeah, there we go.
We shredded their colors. They shouldn't have struck them so fast.
You didn't see
Like-
him surrender? No, I couldn't see anything.
Sir, they've struck their flag. Shame.
Damn their colors. Full metal storm ahead.
Go back in time, George. We got something for you. Just hear us out.
Honestly, I wouldn't even if we could introduce George Washington to any weapon, it wouldn't be that awesome beast.
What
not-
are you going to give him?
I'm not even sure I'd want to give him an AR-15, although we probably should for
Hand him an
practicality's
outdoor.
sake. We should
Hand him a what?
probably give him. We shouldn't give him an AR-15 because obviously that's the obvious answer. We should give him a 20 millimeter M61. He can use it in whatever configuration he wants to, but 6,000 rounds a minute of pretty much tear up those redcoats.
I see. I've actually thought about
And
this
their
question
ships.
before. My answer was an M1 Grand.
And we can mount it on the
Because they're-
Constitution, and the Constitution can go out into all her battles and just go and
Because the
shred it.
Grand is still vaguely, it's still a recognizable at the time gun shape. It's not an AR with a magazine hanging out the bottom and a pistol grip where somebody might look at it and go, "What the fuck is that thing?"
Probably look like a space weapon to them.
It's still, I don't think they had a concept of sci-fi back then, Mike.
They had Jules Verne bullshit. And yeah, he was 100 years later, but
I was about to say, I
mean,
don't think Jules Verne was around. He had
Leonardo
shows.
da Vinci's head was in the stars too, man.
He was
We
dead.
had plenty of sci-fi.
Anyway,
You fucking ding
I thought
dong.
the M1 Grand was like the perfect balance between you get semi-auto firepower, but it's still in a recognizable package. Triggers in the
buy
same
that.
spot, manual of arms of how you hold it's kind of the same. It's like, that could work.
I could buy that.
You don't
And you
require
get 8
big magazine pouches. They can make little, fucking cloth pouches for end block clips. It'll be fine.
You can take Brits down from 500 yards off their
You just-
horses.
You just only give them enough ammunition to win the war so that they don't alter the course of history too much. Because they can't reproduce cartridges for it back then either, though. So I guess everything will be fine.
It wouldn't take them long to reverse engineer them.
It's not the reverse engineering, it's the actual science of metallurgy not being advanced enough to probably start stamping out brass cases. Remember, we had to get through copper first, but even then, that's occurring 80 years after the fact that
I mean,
cartridges start becoming mainstreamed.
We still used brass for lots of things
Mm.
back then.
The real breakthrough was the priming compound, the early priming compounds that allowed you to use a percussion cap instead of flash powder.
That's true.
Yeah. Which they could have taken a
Yeah.
primer and been like, well, this makes sense. How do we do what we have?
You hit
Into
this with
this.
a hammer and it blows up. Tell me
Right.
more.
Okay, screw it. We give them black powder metal storm then. Because they can load it. We just got to give them a concept and teach them the tactics.
Dude, metal storm with lead balls. All right.
Like you fuck with the British enough for a little while to get them to all run at you with their bayonets, or not run. They did their whole fucking fast part, and then when they get really close, you just touch these off.
Can
But
you
the rest-
imagine going into that battle as like, damn it, his name escapes me right now. The one that was portrayed in The Patriot, the British general Cornwallis. Can you imagine being Cornwallis on the field of battle, and you've got 10,000 redcoats advancing, and you've got like 3 American generals and 1 guy with this weird looking tower, and you're like, all right, well, I got my 10,000 dudes. I'm gonna, or if you're Cornwallis, tally ho, lads. And you tally ho off to this one single guy with your flutes up, fluting and band drums a drumming, and this one guy's just standing there with a shit-eating grin on his face, and you're just like, "What is? I don't understand." So you give the order to open fire. Your soldiers make ready. They take aim, and then this guy like touches 2 wires together. The thing goes, and all 10,000 of your troops just fall down.
Dude, imagine who cares about Cornwallis? Imagine being like one of the redcoats on the front lines, like, what the hell is that?
I say. I was thinking A10 Warthog.
Ooh, I like Bert.
So that's just
They're
the plot of
retiring
the
those
final
now.
countdown.
Mhm.
Well, of course, the retire. McCain died.
Yeah, fair. It's so dumb though. Like I worked on them for one of the best years of my career. I will miss seeing the aircraft, but it was dumb to me that the Air Force, the U.S. government, would take an aging airframe such as the A-10A, and when the choice came to spend hundreds of millions of dollars upgrading them all with new wings, avionics, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, or just mothballing them and sending them to the boneyard, they spent the hundreds of millions of dollars, possibly billions of dollars, I'm not even sure, upgraded them, and then retired them 15 years later anyway.
What'd you expect?
I mean, we could have not done that.
I mean,
Please.
the other option was to try and use the F-35.
For what?
For close air support. Is
Can
that
you
not
imagine?
one of the purposes of the F-35 was to also be a close air support medium bomber?
It was, I mean, yes, that was its concept, but the F-35 it was designed to do a lot of things, none of which it does well.
Correct. Which is why like they held on to the A-10 because there was
Right.
not something waiting in the wings to replace it.
And the F-35 can't even replace it. Like the 30 millimeter cannon is what, like, imagine you're an F-35 and you've dropped your 2 laser guided bombs in close air support, and then you fire your 125 rounds of 25 mil, whatever ridiculous tiny Bert that thing's got. An A-10 would still have 1,100 rounds.
Dusky's right. Not a
it's
medium bomber. It's
a
medium bomber.
in any case, I'm droning on, and but it can do the close air support that our troops come in contact or have come in contact with over the last 20 years, but it's not going to replace the A-10's capability to just take the ever-loving fuck out of a bunch of tanks. Like the Highway of Death in Iraq in 1991 is a prime example. That was just a bunch of A-10s doing A-10 things. An F-35 is not going to be able to do that. Get that they're retiring the aircraft for a mission we don't have anymore, which is to kill tanks.
Look, nerd. I don't care what you have to say about the A-10. My only input here is that the United States Air Force went downhill when they retired the F-111, and that's all I have to say about that.
I don't know that I necessarily disagree with you. The F-111's cool.
F-111, aardvark.
Vark, 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 vark.
Imagine Washington's face seeing a submarine surface.
What the holy hell?
Actually, that may not be that far off. There was an early prototype that was attempted to sink a British warship.
The turtle.
Yeah, it didn't come back. Oh shit!
The
It
turtle
also
floundered.
didn't attach the bomb, and it didn't blow up, so it didn't work at all. But the concept was there. It's
Now
not
the
like
CSS Hunley worked, but it also worked too well and sank
yeah,
itself.
they did. They did the dead.
Yeah. Like, I don't understand how they thought it was a good idea to go, we'll just go poke it and leave it and then back up, and then the string will set it off and it'll go boom, and we'll be right here next to the boom. It's fine.
Now somebody had to think of something.
Yes, the Hunley Dusky. I mean, without their deaths, we wouldn't have torpedoes.
So anyway,
Anyway,
something else I wanted to bring up. So I sent the group chat a link earlier. I believe it was yesterday. The Oklahoma Department of Wildlife released a story confirming the sighting of at least 2 sets of female mountain lions with cubs
2
in
cougars.
Oklahoma. I said female mountain lions.
You get 2 cougars.
I said
They got plenty of cougars, but they got 2 mountain lions, is what Vince is saying. Dang.
Suddenly,
2
Oklahoma
cougars and
seems
a
a lot
bear
less
ass.
appealing.
So
yeah.
for years, the official stance of the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife is that all mountain lions that are sighted in Oklahoma are transient individuals passing through or wandering from their original ranges to attempting to establish their own range. And this is the first time that they have come out and said, well, no, we have at least some evidence of an individual, with cubs or kits or whatever they're called. And this is important because that means that these animals, the females, have established at least part of their range in Oklahoma. The 2 counties where they were sighted were Osage, which is in the north central part of the state, and Cimarron County, which is in the panhandle over near Dave.
That's my neighbor.
Yep.
Panhandle over near Dave. Dave, you are now a landmark.
I identify as North Oklahoma sometimes.
Dave is
When
way
I
closer to
describe where you
Cimarron
live-
County than I.
When I describe where you live, Dave, I say that you're close enough to piss on Kansas and Oklahoma, and regularly do.
I'm within 45 minutes of 5 states.
Yeah.
Talk about a state of denial. 8 states. Oh, good. I killed Mike.
I'm honestly, Oklahoma Department of Game and Fish, or whatever you guys have it as down there, got lit the fuck up in those comments on that post.
Yeah, because if you go talk to anybody who lives anywhere outside of a city, who's especially if you live near some major water course or even a minor water course that has decent amount of flow most of the year, they will tell you, like, hell yeah, we see those all the time. I told y'all last year, my neighbor saw a mountain lion behind my house. And then he talked to the neighbors behind us, and they're like, yeah, we see those all the time, along with the bears. And of course, the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife has been on the track that, like, we needed more evidence because they can't just go off of reported sightings, because there are also idiots who will report a tomcat wandering around as a mountain lion or a bobcat or some nonsense like that. But like my neighbor, I trust this sighting because I know his experience as an outdoorsman.
I can't believe all the go ahead.
Yeah. And so they've just said that, we have their line that they kept putting in the comments on Instagram, on their Instagram post, was, this is the first photographic evidence that we have had.
And that blows my mind. Because of all the reports of seeing mountain lions and them actually like having the prints, and they just discount them as, oh, that's just bobcats.
Or
surely to fucking somewhere there's a little patch of fur that they could have tested.
or I'm just looking at it like we've known this. There's been
Mhm.
mountain lions all over the place in Oklahoma. People have reported the mountain lion sightings. And the story from Oklahoma Department of Wildlife has been the same for a number of years. The thing that I think has changed is that recently our governor supported a bill which I'm not sure if this got passed. I think it might have, allowing for a limited mountain lion hunt in Oklahoma, like a draw hunt, 5 individuals only, like a very, very limited.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, had some people up in arms because, there's not enough mountain lions here. Well, now suddenly we have these trail cam pics coming up like, oh, look, there are mountain lions here. So my entire thing has been like, they probably don't want to generate any kind of wildlife management plan because they don't have the funding right now to deal with managing another major game species, especially a predator, a large predator, and the kind of impact that might have on agriculture and other things. I like I said, I don't know. It just seems odd that you have the governor pushing for a mountain lion hunt at the same time that suddenly the Department of Wildlife is saying, "Yep, here they are. There's a breeding population in at least 2 counties."
Government being government.
And before this, it was like, "No, those don't exist here. We're not going to deal with it." And now,
It's
here they are.
simple matter of this: putting their hands on their eyes and just not seeing anything until somebody goes, "Look, dummy."
I mean, I've talked to the rednecks southeast of here quite a bit, and some of them have even reported like, yeah, we get black panthers down around here near the piney woods swamps. It's like
we had a black mountain lion for a while.
that would be a melanistic mountain lion, which would be an incredibly rare occurrence. But what they were saying is like the black, like the Florida panthers, like the black panthers.
Yes.
Sam,
You're the one saying it, not me.
So you had some
There's-
Black Panthers
help
down there.
What do you? Hey, I was keeping it together till you said Florida Panthers. No, just I can't do it anymore.
The Black Panthers.
I mean, I guess aren't they? No, the Panthers are what, North Carolina team?
that's North Carolina,
Well, close enough.
or actually one of the Carolinas. I don't know.
The
They're same.
Carolina Panthers.
When I googled it, it turns out there's a hockey team called the Florida Panthers. So
Well, good for them.
good for
just-
Florida.
Looked up what the out of state cost or a non-resident fee is to hunt lions in Colorado. $823.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Good God.
No thanks.
Hey, didn't they just pass that we can't hunt kitty cats anymore? Or did that fail? I can't remember.
Are you fucking serious?
I
We
honestly
covered this for a year.
More. Oh my goodness, this is more
He's
than
like,
a year.
What year is it?
Yeah, I don't know what day it is.
That started before I got here.
How old are you now?
Old enough to be able to go to the bar twice.
And he still gets carded.
Yeah.
That's true.
No,
No,
we
he
can
looks
still
like an
hunt.
11-year-old girl.
We can still hunt kitty cats.
Oh my God.
Sleep deprivation does pretty funky things to people.
I just listed the non-resident price to hunt mountain lions. And you're like, can we hunt those?
No, I meant, was that not stopping? Like, did that not pass that they're going to, like, effective October next year or whatever? I've been focused on the
Well,
assault
if it-
weapons ban, and I completely forgot about what happened with the cat thing.
If it had, this would have been the last season of it. I think.
Right. That's why. That's
Meaning
what
there wouldn't be
popped into my head.
meaning there
For
wouldn't be a price for this year because it wouldn't be on the book in the brochure this year.
that makes sense.
Ugh.
I'm tired. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, happy vaginal eviction day, Mike.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm happy to have been released. I'm not sure all of you were happy I was released, but I'm glad I'm here.
Well, I didn't have an opinion at the time.
No, you didn't. None of y'all did.
Please return to sender.
That's all I got to say about that.
These are my magic shoes. Mom said these shoes take me anywhere.
Can they take us to the end of the episode now? Oh, no, don't.
What?
What?
I flicked over to the show notes and I literally was about to copy and paste the crawfish etouffee because I was like, oh, they're probably going to delete that. And I watched it disappear.
Well,
Oh, well.
for my
We will discuss this afterwards.
Yeah, it's okay. I can get that off the show notes.
Oh, do I have
Last-
outro? Sweet.
Yes.
Yeah, you do.
Oh,
You should support the sport or something.
God, Mike, are the LA riots happening outside your house? I can hear that siren from here.
Yeah, dude, I'm honestly not sure anymore what happens around my house.
In the ghetto.
In the ghetto.
Clothing greatest in the morning, that little baby child is born.
Okay, then. Well, as mentioned earlier, Gideon Optics affiliate code, 10% off. Used coupon code MOIST. Camera Auto affiliate code, Let's Go Hunt. We will be at GunCon on June 28th in
Yeah.
Theoretically.
fucking, I keep trying to say Cincinnati. It's going to be in Cleveland,
Cleveland.
Ohio,
North Cincinnati.
at the whatever Vince has that shit memorized. I can't remember where it's supposed to be at, but we will be
I
there.
think it's
At the place that
West
says
Jersey.
GunCon here.
Come say hi. If you step inside the red circle, I will kill you. I was standing my ground.
That's
I
a
shot it,
lot.
right?
That's a lot.
Don't forget your tape measure.
Don't forget your tape measure.
Mhm.
Operation Measure Jeremy. The email has been sent. The stickers are being ordered.
Yeah.
Also, we don't have a waiver for you to sign, but just know that it is implied.
Oh, it is do at your own risk. Yes,
Yeah.
it's like a roller coaster.
This is dangerous.
You have to be this tall to ride.
You may
you have to be this tall to
collapsed-
reach the top.
You may have a collapsed Adam's apple, and we are not responsible.
And then
You
he
may have an Adam's applesauce.
and then he may look at you and see you don't have an Adam's apple and decide to rape you. So do it at your own risk.
Jesus.
Hey,
Bob's got it.
Bob's got
June
it.
28th at the Twist Drill Building. Get your tickets at guncon.net.
Man, that
And
building
Dusky
name,
said Cleveland Natty.
in light of statements I just made, Twist Drill Building does not sound appealing now.
I thought Cleveland Addy was a type of pasta.
I'm out. All right.
Twist
so,
drill sounds like something we're all like it's a class we're all going to. When in reality, it's just I'm pretty sure a drill bit
yep.
warehouse.
All right. So, as always, thank you for listening. Support the sport and take a buddy hunting. If you like that buddy, tell him about our show. If you don't, tell his mom these are your magic shoes. Hit us up at lghpodcast.com. Thanks for listening. And don't have as many weebs in your life. Personally, I think it was Bulgy Bear Bottom.
Yeah.
Bulgy. I like bulgy bottom bear because that's like fat bottom girls.
Bulgy bottom bear, they make the world. That didn't work at
Failed.
Good night.
all.